Now, I showed you last week how the host of Radio National's breakfast program, Fran Kelly, had stepped aside. She's a Green Left activist, and she's replaced by Patricia Karvelas, yet another Green Left presenter at the ABC. So you can imagine my, surprise when I listened to Radio National Breakfast this morning and Patricia Karvelas introduced us to the ABC journalist who's going to replace her on Radio National Drive. Well, would you think there'd be some variety there? Would you think it'd be a Green Left climate obsessive? Well, have a listen to how Andy Park described his keen interests.
A lot of my reporting at the 7:30 program over the last 8 or 7 years was on climate change, and not just about the degradation of our environment, but also the economic challenges ahead. So one thing I'm hoping to bring to RN Drive this year is a new segment called the Carbon Canary. So where we look at kind of renewables, decarbonisation and climate change, the news that you probably don't hear anywhere else. So that's something that's very, very close to my heart.
Yeah, it's always, I think, good for people to know what you care about and what they can look for.
You have got to be kidding, don't you? We don't hear enough about climate alarmism and renewable energy and all of the rest of it at the ABC. My goodness me, how delusional. Let's bring in the media writer at the Australian newspaper, Sophie Elsworth. Sophie, they're kidding themselves, aren't they?
Look, Chris, when you turn on the ABC, you're guaranteed almost that you'll have some climate alarmism shoved down your throat. And this is what the ABC love doing. And we're obviously going to hear and see a lot more of this. So those comments today by Andy Park are very unsurprising to me, to say the least, Chris.
Yeah, something new and different he's bringing to Radio National, climate alarmism. I mean, honestly, what planet are they living on? Now, in the Australian's media section today, Sophie, an interesting story about some criticism of the private tweets of ABC journalists criticising who else but coalition MPs. But the Parliament's going to force an explanation here.
Yeah, this is really interesting, Chris. So the Parliamentary Committee that does work looking into the ABC put questions on notice to Managing Director David Anderson, demanding answers about why two staff members, former ABC Sydney breakfast host Wendy Harmer and business journalist Alan Kohler, were retweeting anti-coalition tweets, one by Kevin Rudd and another one by Greens MP. Now, this goes against the social media policy at the ABC that they have to be impartial and, show no bias. And clearly we see this time and time again with ABC staff tweeting anti-coalition information out and clearly showing their bias to the left. Now, the committee's gone back to the ABC and said, hey, you haven't answered our question. They gave some answer that basically said, look, you've got to abide by the social media policy, but didn't go into any detail. So this is an unusual move for the committee to demand more answers. So they've got until Thursday to respond, Chris.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Hey, they're not just supporting left of centre views, but Kevin Rudd and the Greens, it's like loopy left of centre views.